Hello everyone, welcome back to the class real-time system. Previous class we have discussed about the introductions of the real-time systems and also the historical backgrounds of real-time systems and what is the elements which is connected to the computer, how it will be controlled by the computer. Okay, so all those things we discussed in the previous class. Okay, now the previous video. Okay, now we are going to talk about the real-time definitions, real-time system definitions. What is the definitions for the real-time systems? Okay, so actually the real-time processing normally which requires both the parallel activities and then fast responses. In fact, the term real-time, which is often used synonymously with the multitasking and also a multi-threading. So you know that the multitasking and also a multi-threading, okay, threading and also a task, you know the difference, right? So now in this real time, it is nothing but it may be on the multiple task which takes place at the same time. So the multiple executions need to be performed at the same time. Okay, so in this, so the parallel activities need to be performed and also it must produce the fast response. The output without any delay need to be performed, need to be produced. So this is nothing but the real time processing. And when we come to this real time system definitions, so the Oxford Dictionary of Computing, which offers the definitions for the real time system, is the any system in which the time at which the output is produced is significant. This usually because the input corresponded to some movements in the physical world and an output has to be related to that same movement. The lag from the input time to the output time must be sufficiently small for acceptable timeliness. Okay, so whatever the real-time system which performs or which capture the information is related to the environment, okay, out to the physical world. So the output also need to be performed which is related to the same environment. Okay, so there is a lag between the inputs and outputs. So the processing time and the producing the output time must be very less. Then only the real-time system which performs efficient operation, or otherwise there is a possibility of failure may occur in this real-time system. So this is one kind of definitions for the real-time operation, the real-time systems. And later, the real-time systems are defined by the real-time systems are those which must produce the correct response within a definite time limit. So there is a predefined time which is specified in a system. Within that predefined time, the output must be generated, output must be produced. So that is nothing but on real-time systems. Okay, the should computer response exceeds these time bonds, then the performance degradation and or the malfunction of result. Okay, if it is exceeds the time limit, there is a possibility of the performance may degrade or otherwise the system failure may occur. For example, when we are using a flight control, okay, the signals from the station, okay, ground station, its station to the air station to the flight controlling, the signals which is transferred between these two medias. Okay, so the controlling informations must be transferred within a predefined time. So what is the time limit which is specified? Within that, there need to be sent, okay, need to be received. If it is exceeds, there is a possibility of malfunctions in the system. Okay, so there is a possibility of misguiding the air traffic or air flights and all. Okay, or otherwise there is a degradation in the performance. If it isn't the plans and all, if it is not send the information in a correct time, then there is a performance degradation in the system. So this is called the real-time systems. Okay, and another definitions for this real-time system is a real-time system that reads the input from the plant. and send the control signals to the plant at the times determined by the plant's operational concentration, not at a time limited by the capabilities of computer systems. Okay, so the plant operation conditions. So the depending on the plant's operation condition, the informations which will be sent to the plant, not the time limit specified by the computer system. So this is one of the alternative definitions for real-time system. So there is no single definitions for real-time system. So the depending on the technology or depending on the device where we are going to use a real-time application, based on that we are going to define a real-time system. But whatever it is, the real-time system must perform the operations within a predefined time, definite time limit. It must produce the output, that is the real-time system operations. Okay, apart from that, the real-time systems, because that is the performance which is based on the program, so that can be defined. So the program is nothing but the program from which the correctness of the operation which is depends on both the logical results of the computation and at the time at which the results are produced. Okay, so this is the definitions for program. Okay, and the real-time system is a system that must satisfy the bounded response time constraints or the risk severe consequence including the failure. Okay, so a failed system is a system that cannot satisfy one or more of the requirements. It's stipulated in the formal system specifications. Okay, so the generally what we are going to tell, the real-time system, it is nothing but a system. It need not to be work with an additional programming requirements, that has to meet the response time, that means that has to meet the deadline constraints in one or more of its functions. Okay, so that is called the real-time system. So the mainly the real-time systems are those in which the timeliness is a very much important as a correctness of the output. Okay, so real-time system must produce the response within a predefined time limit. So that is the major definitions in the real-time systems. Okay, so this is very much important question. You can find in your main exams the real-time system definitions. Okay, the questions may be on define the real-time system and explain the different classifications of real-time system with an example. So I will explain you in the next video what are the classifications of real-time systems. Okay, so it is one of the very much important question, define the real-time system. It is a repeated question in all the years, the real-time system definitions which is there in your previous year questions. Okay, so definitions of real-time system is very much important. So we have to write based on the device where we are using. So based on that we need to define the real-time systems. If we are using a plant, that definitions is different, our generalized definitions is different, Oxford dictionary which is giving the definitions are different. So like this how you have to write all the definitions, depends on the marks. Okay, so these are the reference books. I hope this video is helpful for you. We'll meet you in the next video. Thank you all.